Good evening, listeners. Nagaland will go to a single-phase polls on February 27, and to know more about the preparation of the upcoming state general election, we have with us Chief Electoral Officer of Nagaland, Mr. V. Shashank Shekhar, IAS. Welcome, Mr. Shekhar, to our special program of All India Radio, Kohima.
Thank you very much. I am very happy to be here with all of you and to reach out to the listeners through your All India Radio channel.
Firstly, Mr. Shekhar, with just few days left for Nagaland state to go to polls, how is the overall preparation going on?
Overall preparation is going on very well. Our preparation started several weeks, in fact several months back. So I can just briefly touch upon some of the important aspects. Trainings for district election officers, returning officers, polling parties, EVM nodal officers, several rounds of trainings have been held. Another important aspect is the electronic voting machine through which the voters will cast their votes. So these machines, the first level check was almost done 3 months back, and these machines are already there in the respective districts in the strong rooms. And now we are all aware 10th was the last date for withdrawal, after which the list of candidates has been finalized. So the commissioning of the EVMs has also started in the districts. Similarly, for law and order also several steps have been taken. The enforcement agencies at the state level as well as central levels are all very active for several weeks now. State police, excise, and from the central side, income tax, enforcement directorate, DRI, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, Narcotics Control Bureau. So many agencies are all working in coordination just to ensure that a free and fair election takes place. And we have also been in touch with different stakeholders. Meetings have been held with political parties, and not only the enforcement agencies but all the administrative machinery, police. The full election commission has come to Nagaland, to Kohima, and they have also met all different stakeholders and reviewed the poll preparedness. And on the very positive side, some villages we have seen have passed resolutions for a free and fair election. So looking at all these arrangements, we are very confident of our preparation of the entire machinery, election machinery, and we are very confident that it will be a smooth and free and fair election.
So for this election, how is it going to be different from the previous election?
Though every election has its own special features, this time one aspect I would like to mention is about villages who have come forward voluntarily. They've held meetings and then passed resolutions for a free and fair election. They have said they will not accept any inducement or any other kind of electoral malpractice. So some villages I can name, there are many actually. So Nehak in Newland district, and in Kohima district, K Basa village, Thizama village, and recently we heard Kohima village has also passed such a resolution. From Vokha district also we have received reports about many villages coming forward and passing such resolutions. So this kind of social awareness, and we all know the importance of village as a unit in our society. So these are very positive developments, and this is also one very special feature of the election this time.
So what are the security measures being initiated in the state for violence-free and inducement-free fair election? Also, what are the security measures being taken up in the villages, especially in the border areas?
A lot of measures have been taken in the past, and this elections also we are taking. In addition to the state police, the Nagaland Armed Police, District Police, and the IRB, which in any case are deployed and are fully involved with the elections. In addition to that, for maintenance of law and order, the Election Commission has deployed 305 companies of CAPF, Central Armed Police Forces. 75 of those companies have already come in January itself on advanced deployment, and the rest will also be coming to our state very shortly. So these plus all the central agencies which I mentioned about are also keeping a close watch on any kind of electoral malpractices. For borders, we have interstate borders as well as international border with Myanmar. So for interstate borders also interactions are taking place at various levels. District level, the respective deputy commissioners and superintendents of police are having regular meetings with their counterparts in the neighboring states. Assam, Arunachal, Manipur, we have border, especially with Assam. So, and at the state level also we are in touch, and the commission has also held a meeting where chief secretaries, DGPs, CEOs of all the neighboring states were also present. And for international boundary, we know the border guarding force is the Assam Rifle. So the commission has also issued instructions that they should also keep a close watch. So various aspects, various steps, measures are being taken to ensure that even in the boundaries, whether it is interstate or international boundaries, all law and order is maintained and no kind of malpractice happens for the elections.
There has been some pre-poll violence reported for some district. So in such kind of violence, what are the measures taken by the state election office?
That is right. Ideally, we would like a zero violence election, but sometimes the ideal situation doesn't happen. As you mentioned, there have been instances of pre-poll violence. So the law takes its own course. We have the state police, which will lodge an FIR, investigation will take place, and then the accused persons are charge sheeted, and then the courts decide on the innocence or criminality of the persons involved, and then if they are pronounced guilty, then the court decides the quantum of punishment. So the law is taking its own course. In these cases which have come to our notice, the police has already registered FIRs, and where required, people have been arrested and investigation is going on.
Can you also enlighten us on the seizure made by various enforcement agency following the announcement of the date of election?
Yes, now our total seizures, including all the agencies, after the date of announcement of elections, are almost 40 crores. So the detailed breakup is there. This 40 crores is a rough round-off figure I am saying. So it involves cash, it involves IMFL, it involves drugs, and it also involves freebies and other items. So those details are available, but broadly cash is about 3.25 crores. IMFL, the estimated value will be about 4.4 crores. Drugs is 27.8 crores approximately. Freebies and other items is about 3.7 crores. So this is the broad breakup, but our agencies are active, and in the coming days also we hope to have more seizures.
What are the new innovative initiatives that one can witness?
What happened at the society level itself, which I mentioned, the villages have come forward. Then from enforcement side also we have tried to be more proactive to ensure that no malpractice takes place. So many of our listeners may be aware that not only income tax has set up a camp office in Kohima and a control room in Dimapur, which they have done in earlier elections also, and they have deployed district level teams also in all the districts. In addition to that, Enforcement Directorate has also set up a camp office in Kohima, which is for the first time it has happened. Similarly, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence has set up a camp office in Dimapur, which is also for the first time. The advanced deployment of CAPFs also, which has taken place, is comparatively larger in number. Advanced deployments have taken place in the past also, but the numbers are comparatively larger. Plus, things which we do in the past also, the all-women polling booths have been set up. 369 such polling stations are there where the entire polling team will be women polling personnel only. Similarly, 3 persons with disabilities polling stations are being set up. So these are different ways, and we have also tried many voters awareness programs to spread this message. Recently, a workshop was held by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, where they have brought in private registered troops from Manipur, and these troops are going to different districts, and through their performances they'll send the message about free and fair election, and they'll be going to different districts, villages, towns, and hopefully some of our viewers may have already seen them also.
So is there any polling booths identified as sensitive, hypersensitive, or critical in any parts of the state?
Yes, this exercise has been done some weeks back, where the district level administration DCs and the police superintendent of police, they coordinate and they identify critical vulnerable polling booths. So those lists come to us from the districts, then we also analyze, and we in coordination with the police we list out. So this number, of course, we have the numbers, but these numbers are also dynamic. There are laid down criteria. For instance, if any polling booth has a past history of any violence, or if in the past election more than 75% voting has taken place, and within that also if more than 75% has gone in favor of one particular candidate, then such polling booths we do the analysis and they are automatically identified as critical polling booths. So that exercise has been done. We have approximately 700 plus vulnerable identified. Okay. Similarly, 700 plus critical polling stations which have already been identified, and the rest are normal as of now. But as I said, it is still dynamic. In the coming days, if some incident happens or if any situation arises, this reclassification can also take place.
So you have mentioned about the awareness that the state election has also taken. How effective has SVEEP campaigned in sensitizing the masses?
We feel the SVEEP campaign has had a very wide reach and we have been able to reach out. So measures have been taken at state level also and at the district level also. These programs are run throughout the year, and especially in view of elections, past few weeks and months, more intensive programs have been run. So this happens in different ways. Some districts have held essay competitions where young voters have come forward and participated actively in the essay competition. There have been song competitions. Some have organized other kinds of programs. We have also produced a video recently which we launched and which has had a lot of views. Similarly, some districts have also done that. Then we also involve our SVEEP icons to propagate this message of active participation of the voters. So in different ways, and then we have run print advertisements also, in addition to meetings with different stakeholders. So it's a multidimensional activity, and I'm sure it has its own impact in a positive manner.
Taking into consideration the geographical situation in our state, also many villages being located in the border areas, how are the election missionaries extending all possible services to reach the unreached, leaving no voters behind?
This is a very important aspect which you mentioned, no voter to be left behind. And in our state we have 2,315 polling booths. And as you mentioned, some of them are geographically comparatively remote, or maybe the road condition may not be the best possible. But it is also a reflection of the spirit of our entire machinery, of the entire society itself. So it is a very positive aspect and reflects the positive spirit of society as a whole that to all these 2,315 polling booths, our polling parties will reach. And it has happened in the past also that smoothly, in spite of any geographical constraints, every polling booth, even in the remotest village of the state, these polling parties have reached, and they have ensured that every eligible voter who desires to cast his vote is given that opportunity. So it is a very enthusiastic spirit of our entire machinery, especially the polling parties and the district administration, the security personnel who accompany them. And as I said, it's only with the overall participation of society as a whole that such a complex logistical arrangement of reaching out to every single voter actually happens.
So there has been incidents of proxy voters in Nagaland quite some time now. So what are the steps taken by the election office to ensure that no proxies voting takes place?
This proxy voting is certainly an area of concern, and it is a multidimensional effort to stop any kind of proxy voting. So one is the awareness programs where we try to sensitize the voters themselves to be very careful. In the National Voters Day program, which we had, 2 young voters had spoken, and one of them had also expressed her views about proxy voting, and she had also said that this is something which should not happen. So these are also forums where awareness is spread about the need for a proper and free and fair election to happen. So more such awareness programs are held. Then we also encourage initiatives such as those which I mentioned, where the village councils themselves come forward and they pass resolutions that no malpractice should happen. From the administrative side, in our various training programs also we emphasize to the polling parties and the administrative machinery, the sector officers, sector magistrates, to be very careful and prevent any kind of proxy voting or even other malpractices. Then we also reach out to stakeholders We hold regular meetings with political parties also, for instance. So through these different measures, the entire election machinery tries its best to stop proxy voting and any other kind of malpractice also.
We have over 13 lakhs eligible voters in our state, and we have senior citizens as well as the persons with disabilities. So what are the facilities provided for the senior citizens and PWDs?
The commission and the entire election machinery is very sensitive to the needs of senior citizens and persons with disabilities. And over the years, the arrangements being made have also become more elaborate. And this emphasis on providing support to the more vulnerable sections of our society is also a positive reflection of overall concern in society itself to take care of those who need support. So in our arrangements, it reflects in many ways. In all the polling booths, we provide through the election commission's overall supervision that certain minimum facilities should be available in all the polling booths. So instructions have been issued to the district level also, and this is closely monitored at all levels. So at least basic facilities like water, toilets, and for the disabled persons, ramp should be available. Then wheelchairs are provided as required. There are volunteers who can assist PWD voters as they come to vote. And a very special facility which has been provided is that those with a certain above benchmark disability and 80 plus voters, they are given this option. They can exercise, it is not mandatory, but up to them if they want to exercise that option. That facility is given where our teams will actually come to their homes and then take the vote in their residence itself. So the entire team goes with security and collects the vote at the individual residences. So this also is a very huge logistical arrangement, but all this is done again to ensure that no voter is left behind.
So you have said earlier that women personals and PWDs will be men in the polling stations. So in what ways are the women personals and PWDs going to assist for the conduct of this election?
Yes, they also are actively involved, and we have planned throughout the state 369 all-women polling booths where the entire polling party will be women, including the presiding officers. And there are 3 such polling stations where PWDs will be managing the polling station as polling team, entire polling team. So this shows the active involvement of women and our PWD citizens also in the arrangements for the election. And women are also involved at all levels, not only in the polling parties, but you will see them in the administration, in the police, at different levels, in the offices, in my own CEO's office. So they are very actively involved in the media. So they're all important stakeholders and they contribute in a very, very important manner to the entire election process.
As CEO, what is your observation on voters turned out in Nagaland?
Our voter turnout has traditionally been quite high. It has always been more than 80%. So this is a very positive sign, the active involvement of people. At the same time, it also has to be balanced by the need and the concerns expressed by, as I mentioned, as an example, only one young voter who had expressed this concern about proxy voting. So we have to, the whole society as a whole and all stakeholders have to come together and ensure both these things. One is our voting percentage should remain high, it should go higher. Ideally, it should be 100% we can aim for. At the same time, it has to be balanced that it is totally clean in the sense there is no proxy voting and only the genuine voters come forward and cast their votes.
Lastly, sir, any word of encouragement to the people of the state to come forward and participate in the democratic process?
I've often said that society in Nagaland is inherently democratic. We respect different views. We give space to everyone to express their views. And this inherent democratic tradition should also get reflected in our election process. So this true spirit of democracy, all of us should endeavor to build on that foundation which is already there. And when all stakeholders come together, then I'm very hopeful and very sure that this will happen, that we'll have a free and fair election without any violence, and the true spirit of democracy will get reflected.
Thank you, Mr. Shekhar, for taking your time and highlighting us about the elections scenario in our state.
Thank you very much.
Stand for your future. is yet to come. Stand for your people. In truth we will seek, in truth we will lead, in truth and truth alone. Come brothers and sisters, neighbors and friends, stand for what's yet to come. Let's stand for
IB Bura Buri Khan Chokra Chokri Khan Aha election day sob manu jai kine vote dibo IB. Right leader choose kuribo.